out on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
Hey, and we're back. And yes, I am here at Fort Worth ISD Athletic Department. Yours truly, the HBCU Stroll with Johnnie Cole. Today we got a very interesting guest. We go back a long way, but first I just want to say condolence to Jason Jenkins with the Miami Dolphins. I had an opportunity to work with his dad, C.L. Whittington, at Texas Southern when I first started off this business. And I want to send my condolences to him and his family and the Miami Dolphin organization. He passed away a couple of days ago. But he was a great young man. The little time that I had a chance to spend with him and kind of see him develop. And again, I want to send my condolences out to the family. All right, we going down to the Mississippi, to Catfish Town, Catfish City, down at a university that's been in the SWAC for a long time, that has the greats that graduated from there, like Jerry Rice and Willie Totten and Carl Byron. I had the opportunity of me as a player to play against them and had some great games. But I want to introduce and bring my guest on. I met him as a young player at Tennessee State, and he went on and jumped into the business of coaching. My friend is on his way to becoming truly a head coach in this business. I think that our conference is, we're grateful to have him. My friend, Mr. Kenton Evans. I call him Clark Kent.
Yes, sir. Glad to be on here today, man. Thanks a lot, man, for getting me this opportunity, to speak to you about some football today, man. It's definitely, a pleasure to be on this format with you.
Yeah, we, one of the things that I can remember, I used to always get a text from you once you was bouncing from place to place, yes, like, sir. Coach, why is it not any black quarterback coaches? Why all the quarterback coaches got to be coaches of a white color? And I was like, hey man, until we start loving each other and honoring each other, respecting each other, it's gonna be that way.
Yes, sir.
So let's go back. All right, young kid, 5A player, yes, out of the Memphis area, Westwood High School.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about them days.
Man, probably some of the best times of my life, man. Being able to grow up in the Westwood area, to see most of my idols, people that I idolize, like my cousin Rodney Hughes, guys like Darrell Williams that I looked up to growing up in that area, in the Westwood area, and seeing what they were doing, on the football field. I think it was the younger guys like myself, guys that were my age that grew up there. We most of our idols came from our neighborhood. Our idols were tangible guys. We could talk to those guys. We could, laugh with them, go watch them play. Those guys gave us the inspiration to go be great and to be better than them. But had a great time at Westwood High School, man. Was fortunate enough to be in a great system that Coach Ware had that was pretty much, just spread, just wide open, in the 90s. We threw it all over the place. We were doing stuff then that nobody was even thinking about doing back then. And nobody really knew how to play against us or knew how to guard us because we were just so intricate with what we were doing, with our scheme, and we just like the city of Memphis and the state of Tennessee on fire every Friday night, and it actually started before me. I was just fortunate enough to be in their lineage to come behind some of those guys and just taking bits and pieces of what I saw from them and to incorporate it in my game and to thrive. So it was very fortunate to be in a system like that at Westwood, and always thankful to Coach Ware for giving me that opportunity as a youngster, 10th grader, a little skinny little 10th grader. He gave me an opportunity to go be the starting quarterback at Westwood and just took it and ran with it.
Well, I tell you, I love me some Darrell Williams now.
Yes, sir.
And I think he threw for almost 10,000 yards down there. Did you?
Yeah, he did.
Were you fortunate to break his record?
Yeah, I broke pretty much all of his records that he held, man, at Westwood High School in the state of Tennessee. Like I said, just fortunate, to come behind him. Just being young in the neighborhood, watching his style of play, just watching how smooth he was, and I wanted to be like him a whole lot. At first, when I first started playing football, I was a receiver when I first started playing because my cousin played receiver, but I was just slow. I couldn't run, so my Pee Wee football coach ended up switching me to quarterback, and that's what I played. From that point on was QB, and but like I said, seeing Darrell play was definitely gave me a lot of inspiration, to play the quarterback position.
So you coming out of Memphis, hot, throwing the ball all over the field. So you're a coach, you're a recruiter. Where did you rank yourself? Was you 3A player? Was you a 5A player? Was you a 4A player?
Well, we were 4A. We were 4A at Westwood. And during that time, we were 4A. But I think we could have played and beat anybody. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if we were 4A, 5A, 6A, 3A.
Yeah,
I feel like we had the talent, to beat anybody, man. And that's pretty much, my thought. That was our thought process at Westwood. The team, we just felt like we couldn't be beat, and we had some pretty good records, during my time at Westwood. Yes, sir.
All right. So now, like I said, you recruit. So what would you rank yourself? 4-star, 3-star, 5-star?
I would say 5-star. I would say a 4 or 5-star guy. Just depending on the rankings at that time, man, because as I got older, started to be a little bit smarter at the QB spot, could run a little bit, wasn't a dual threat guy, but I could run the football when needed. I wasn't going to give you 100 yards rushing in a game, but I could, be able to use my feet to get some yards, and if I wasn't throwing the football, I could definitely run and get what I needed and get what we needed. I would say I would give myself, I would pat myself on the back, and I would say I would be a 5-star, coming out of Westwood High School, throwing for over 10,000 yards, 115 touchdowns. Yeah, I would say 5-star.
Yeah. Well, now since you end up going to the University of Memphis, you stayed at home and went to the University of Memphis.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
So what was that like? Well, you end up transferring, but we're gonna get to that part.
Yes, sir. So when I graduated from high school, had offers from pretty much everybody, every school, in the country, offered me a scholarship to come play there. The thought process behind staying at the University of Memphis was just trying to be, one of those guys that kind of, being the local guy, just trying to change the culture, within the city. I remember being young, and when I played Pee Wee football, we would go to the University of Memphis games, and I would sit in the bleachers, sit in the stands at the game, and just wonder what it would be like to have an opportunity to play, at Memphis State during that time. But like I said, growing up, I had offers from everywhere: Texas, Florida State, Oklahoma State, Colorado, pretty much everybody. I mean, I think it was the only school that really tried to recruit me for a different position was Florida. Steve Spurrier down in Florida was trying to convince me to, come down there and be a receiver, but I couldn't run. I wasn't a runner. I wasn't I wasn't a pass catcher or runner. So, going to play receiver wasn't my thing. So I just wanted to stick with what I knew, and that was the quarterback position. But going to the University of Memphis, I thought I could just go there and make a difference. Really, that was the whole thought process, behind going to the University of Memphis and playing there.
Right. All right. So you run into a little problem. You said, "Man, it just ain't working for me."
Mm-hmm.
And right now we got all these 5-star, 4-star quote-unquote athletes are now going to black colleges. So now you're saying, man, one thing about it, I noticed you're a home guy because you go from Memphis just right up the road to Nashville. What made you go to Tennessee State?
So it was one of those unique things, man. Growing up, my junior high coach, Coach Herman Adams, he would take us to Tennessee State because he's a graduate of Tennessee State. So he would take us to TSU's homecoming, like when we were younger, just to show us that give us that exposure and to see what black college life was like. And of course, growing up, you didn't see Tennessee State on TV. You didn't see much black college on TV other than the Bayou Classic, which was Grambling and Southern. That's really the only time you really saw any black college football on TV. And I had the distinct, meeting with your brother LC. I met him at the Vanguard Club banquet my senior year. He was being honored as Coach of the Year, and I had a chance to meet him during that time, and just never would have thought that I would end up being back or end up at TSU. Because when I was getting ready to leave the University of Memphis, I was either going to go to the University of Tennessee. I was going to just stay on the Division I level, go to the University of Tennessee, and then I also was going to be not Jackson State, but Grambling. So my mom ended up having a stroke like that December, like when I was getting ready to try to make that transition. So I couldn't go to either of those schools because my mom was in the hospital at that time. So I ended up staying at the University of Memphis for another semester. Doug Williams wanted me to come in the spring and compete for the job, and of course, the University of Tennessee, wanted me to be there in the spring as well to compete for the job, but it wasn't able to happen. I ended up having to stay at the University of Memphis for just that spring semester to kind of, once my mom got released from the hospital, to kind of, help her out and help her around the house. And just one of those things, of course, me with Coach Reese, Coach Carr at the time, came to Memphis, and, we just, struck a good relationship, man. And of course, had a lot of friends that went to Tennessee State too. And of course, going to TSU's homecoming when I was younger, just knowing the culture was what I wanted to be a part of, man. And of course, with TSU winning the SWAC in '98, I thought it would be a great place to go and continue my football career and continue my education to get a degree from the Tennessee State University.
Yeah, well, I thought I was going to have an opportunity to coach you. I was really looking forward to it. We was excited, but of course, we end up leaving and going to Alabama State.
Yeah.
All right, now we at Tennessee State. You had a good career there, and y'all did win some games, but you didn't win no championships.
Yeah, we didn't win a championship, yes, sir. So when I that '99 year when I got there, ended up being ineligible. Thought I was eligible, but I was missing some hours toward my progress toward degree in '99, so I didn't.
Right.
And I can remember just speaking with LC as a matter of fact, because I was just depressed, not wanting to go to practice, not wanting to do anything because I couldn't play. It's my first time in life since I started playing football at the age of 6 that I wasn't able to play. So Coach LC was like, man, I need you to come to practice. I need you to stay with the team and be active. I mean, I just want you to be you're going to be my practice squad QB. You're going to be the scout team QB. And at that point, I took a lot of pride in it because I know, those boards we used to have outside of the coach's office where, you had scout team player of the week or, team player of the week, or special teams player of the week. I actually took a lot of pride in helping the defense, every week, trying to go out there and do what I could to help those guys get better. Even though I knew I couldn't play, because I think like those first couple of weeks during the season, I hated even going to practice. I didn't even go to practice, or I would just miss days because just not being able to play was the biggest thing. But once he called me and talked to me, and I decided to go back and practice and and just be the best, person I could, be the best player I could for the practice squad. They helped the defense get better. And then, of course, 2000 year was my senior year, and I had a chance to start. Worked hard in the spring to become the starting QB there in 2000. Hey, it was a tough season for us at Tennessee State in 2000. The very first play of the very first game against you guys at Alabama State, I separated my shoulder. But I threw a touchdown though on the very first play. Separated my shoulder, and I dealt with that for like had a separated shoulder and a bruised collarbone for like the first few games, man. And I was able to play through it. Ended up winning MVP for the Southern Heritage Classic against Jackson State. But now just kind of struggling, and we struggled. And we ended up losing. We beat Alabama State the first game. Then we ended up losing to, I think it was North Carolina A&T by 2 points. We lost 16-14. Then we lost to Jackson State 42-39 in double overtime. Then we came back and we ended up losing to FAMU. It was just one of those tough things, man, having to deal with that and just trying to fight through injury. Trying to get the guys to play hard. But I definitely had a great senior season at Tennessee State, man. I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to go to a 3-day mini camp with Pittsburgh Steelers, but of course it didn't work out. And ended up going to play arena football for Nashville Cats that year. So. You there?
Are you looking for something to do on your lunch break? Well, there's a show on the BS3 network that has only 4 words to say to you.
We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready.
The Lunch Break with AJ, powered by JM&E. Live weekdays at noon Central.
Hello, my name is Laura Williams here in the new car sales department at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. We've got a lot of great deals going on for the month of August. Right now, only $589 a month for a 36-month lease on an XT6. You can find that and so many great deals here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. Yep, we're getting over that hump. Number 1. The Justice Department's search and seizure of highly sensitive papers in the possession of former President Donald Trump did not begin with the August 8th event. A New York Times investigation found the government has recovered more than 300 documents with classified markings for Mr. Trump since he left office. The first batch of documents were returned in January, another set provided by Mr. Trump's aides to the Justice Department in June, and then there was a material seized by the FBI in the search this month, August 8th. Donald Trump went through 15 boxes himself in 2021 before turning them over. Number 2. Most Americans support teaching a thorough history of the civil rights movement and appreciate the historical significance of that era. But few can name pivotal figures or moments apart from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Mrs. Rosa Parks. A survey released by More in Common found that most Americans remember the period for its nonviolent protests and leaders including Dr. King and Mrs. Parks. Yet most appear to lack robust knowledge of the era, and memories are murky when an event experienced pushback or encountered riots and violence. Number 3. Pfizer asked U.S. regulators Monday to authorize its combination COVID-19 vaccine that adds protection against the newest Omicron relatives, a key step toward opening a fall booster campaign. The Food and Drug Administration ordered vaccine makers to tweak their shots to target BA4 and BA5 that are better than ever at dodging immunity from earlier vaccination or infection. Pfizer and its partner, BioNTech, aim to offer updated boosters to people 12 and older, and shots could begin within weeks if the FDA quickly clears the modified vaccine, a step not expected to require waiting on new studies. Number 4. The Kettle Moraine School District in the state of Wisconsin has barred employees from displaying gay pride flags in classrooms or from putting their preferred pronouns in email signatures. The vote was not unanimous. Board member Jim Romanowski was the only member to vote no on the ban after listening to students and staff. The Kettle Moraine School District Superintendent Stephen Plum told the school board the district's interpretation of the policy changed following a legal analysis. Number 5. Danielle Vines and her 8-month-old infant son, Christian Wilson, were last seen in Prince George's County, Maryland. The 26-year-old mother was wearing a green tank top and gray pants at the time of her disappearance. Christian was wearing a blue onesie. Anyone with information on Danielle and her son's disappearance, please go to the blackandmissinginc.com website. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. A sign of immaturity is always having to be right. So, inhale that maturity. Exhale, immaturity. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with Stephen Hill, comedian Myra J., and activist Quinn Townsend Riley as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybilWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
We're back, Coach. We're back. I'm back with the coach,
Yes,
Ken Evans.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you get into this coaching thing, and it's a tough business,
Yes, sir.
and especially a tough business on African Americans because of the opportunities that we get.
Yes, sir.
So you go to the NFL quarterback coaching summit.
Yes, sir.
You start your career out in the high school.
Yep.
And bounce around. Matter of fact, you go back to your alma mater, and y'all done some special things over there. Did you kind of help them get back going?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was the goal. I started coaching in 2004 at middle school. I started once I retired from playing arena football, just wanted to find something to do. So I started substitute teaching. Then I got asked to volunteer to coach at a middle school, and I never would have thought I would have gotten into coaching. So I started in middle school, then I moved to Atlanta. Started working at a high school in Atlanta, Cedar Grove High School. We're actually with Ray Bonner, Coach Bonner. Gave me my first high school job in Atlanta. So I worked with him for a couple of years before I, ended up venturing off to another high school and just coach high school football for a long time. Never really thought I'll be able to, get into college coaching. But my first college job was 2013 at Valparaiso University.
Right.
Short-lived stint. The head coach was let go after like November. I got hired in April, got there in July, and he was let go in November. So now I'm back looking for another job. So I ended up going back to high school for 2 more years. Then I moved home to Memphis to work at my old high school, Westwood High School.
Right.
And that was a blessing to be able to go back home and to be received, from the people that I knew and loved and people who loved me. We did some good things. I think previous years, I think Westwood had only won like 5 games over like a 4-year span. I think we ended up going 4 and 6, made it to the playoffs. We had a kid that ended up winning the region player of the year. That we finished second in the region. So
Right.
that was a blessing to be able to go back and kind of spark my high school again to get that going. And then they ended up taking another college job with Coach Bill Kayak up at Brevard College.
Right.
Got the quarterback coaching job with him up in North Carolina. And that's been the thing. I was so adamant about getting back on the college level because my first experience as a college coach didn't last long at all. So that's why I was so adamant about getting back on that level.
Well, you've held the coordinator's position
Yes, sir.
8 times
Yes, sir.
in several schools.
Yes, sir.
So you're very experienced. I want to let show my audience know that that you ain't just a frog off the log.
No, sir.
You've been in it. You've paid some of the dues.
Yes, sir.
You got that job at UAPB as the quarterback coach,
Yes, sir.
which they had a super year when
Yes,
you
sir.
was handling that kid. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, it was a great experience, man. I was an offensive coordinator at Central Methodist University in Missouri NAIA school for 2 years. And so when Doc Gamble got the head job, he was a quarterbacks coach at UAPB at the time. So when he ended up being promoted from the quarterbacks coach to the interim head coach, I reached out to him about the job, about the quarterbacks coaching job there. Went in interview for the job and got the job as the QB coach at UAPB. And it was a great experience, man, to be able to sit back and kind of, not be in the coordinator role, but be in the QB coach role, be in the assistant coach role, and just absorb a lot of stuff, man. I was able to get a lot of things from him and Coach Don Treadwell, who had been a coach
Right.
at what was he at?
University of Cincinnati. I know
Cincinnati, he was at Michigan State.
I took his place at Cincinnati. So,
Yes, sir. Yeah,
so he was the wide receiver coach there.
Yeah, so he was at Kent State as the OC, Michigan State as the OC. He was at Cincinnati. So he'd been a lot of different places. So I had a chance to just really, sit back and listen and learn, from both of those guys. And I definitely appreciate Coach Gamble for giving me that opportunity to go to UAPB and work with a guy like Skylar Perry. Skylar did a great job for us. We played in the spring, and he led us to the SWAC championship game. We came up a little short against Alabama A&M. Just some things just didn't go our way. But we were there. We were right there. And we ended up losing 40-33, which was a great game for us. And I felt like we should have walked away with the SWAC championship for that spring of 2021. So,
Well, I could tell the difference from the time you took the job at Valley and watching UAPB and Skylar that he wasn't the same. He wasn't the same player. So that told me right there that coaching does matter.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it does. It does. It does a whole lot, man. I mean, I've had an opportunity to work with the kid and just to try to, teach him what was taught to me, teach him what I learned, what I knew, from the quarterback position. It's not an easy position to play. Like I always tell my guys, you're going to get the blame when you don't deserve it, and you're going to get a lot of praise when you don't deserve it. I mean, because, you got guys, you can easily throw a quick screen and a guy take 80 yards for a touchdown, but the quarterback is going to get the credit for an 80-yard touchdown pass. So this is little thing that I was trying to get him to understand about the intricacies of playing the QB position. He took it, and grafted and had a great year for us this past spring. Had a great year for us that spring at UAPB.
Yeah. Now, you go to Mississippi Valley, which I thought was a bad move.
Yes, sir.
Because I know the coach was on his last year, but when they brought you there, I think they gave him another year.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And one of the good things about it, I just always I took a mentor role to you, was that Willie Totten was there too.
Yes, sir.
Which what can you say about Willie Totten?
Yeah.
I mean,
so Willie Totten, man. I mean, growing up, in Memphis, you knew about Mississippi Valley. Of course, you didn't really see him a whole lot on TV. but you knew about Willie Todd, you knew about Jerry Rice, you knew about Deacon Jones, playing here. You know about Vincent Brown playing here. And believe it or not, Coach Todd actually coached at Westwood back in the 80s. I think that was his first job at Westwood High School back in the 80s before he eventually ended up coming back to Mississippi. But Coach Todd was a very, very, very invaluable person, for me coming here to Mississippi Valley. He was able to help me learn the entire landscape of the Delta area, of the Valley community. And I was able to spend a lot of time with him. We went to lunch pretty much every day. We talked every day. And I actually just talked to him yesterday about some things. I mean, he's definitely a great sounding board for me to be able to come here, to know what it's like, here in Mississippi Valley, to understand the people, around the community, to understand the school community. And we were able to do some pretty good things this past season. But I definitely, will always applaud Coach Todd for embracing me and, helping me transition from UAPB to come here at Mississippi Valley State.
Well, let me say this, and Valley's been down a long time. I think Todd was the last coach that coached there that had a winning season.
Yes, sir.
Of course, when he was a player, they had outstanding seasons. Man, so you go here, like I said, I knew Coach was on his last year. I was a little hesitant, but I know how you are. You got that mindset that put you over in Egypt, and you're gonna get the job done.
Yes, sir, definitely.
So you year one, you come in there, you do a pretty good job because Valley is known for defense. Head coach does a great job with the defense. They know. You come in there that first year, what was your thoughts?
So, going back to, what you were saying earlier about, taking the job. I actually interviewed for the job before in 2018 and didn't get the job in 2018. But, I'm such a strong believer, in God. And I believe, he's the reason why I'm here, because the job came back around to me, So, I mean, it came back to me in 2021 and I took it. But as you say, I mean, a lot of people, I had a lot of my friends was like, man, don't take that job. Don't. It was like, why would you take that job? It was like, why would you take that job? Why would you go there? I had a lot of people ask me why would I take that job? And my thing to them was, I believe in me, and that's the one thing I always do. I always believe in me. I believe I can get the job done. I believe I can get the job done here. I started out a little tough, man. The first two games were really, really, really rough. I didn't get hired here until July, and being here that summer, we only had like a handful of kids that were here working out that summer. So I wasn't able to put in my office until August, until we got to camp. So you talk about 2 to 3 weeks, then you got to play a football game. You got a game to play after camp. So we go into those first two games, and it was like, me being my first time being a Division I offensive coordinator, I had some wide eyes too. Some of the players had some wide eyes as well, and it didn't go well for us those first two games. We kind of, came out slow, struggled a little bit. Gave the defense from Murray State and we played Stephen F. Austin. We gave those guys touchdowns. We ended up losing to Murray State 35-0, and we ended up losing to Stephen F. Austin. I think it was bad. It was those first two games were really bad. But quarterback wise, we've turned the football over, throwing interceptions backed up. They giving them short yards, a short field to play on. So that's one of the things that kind of hurt us early. But, I think that third game against Southern was when we really kind of hit our stride. Even though we ended up losing by 13, we kind of started to hit our stride offensively. And then the next game, we beat North Carolina Central for homecoming. Then we went down to Bethune and beat those guys on their homecoming. So we won back-to-back games for the first time since 2012 here. So it's been 10 years before they won back-to-back games.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. It's been a while since we won back-to-back games here. And then, we go into this little gauntlet, basically, of the SWAC. We played against Alcorn, Jackson State, FAMU, played against Alabama A&M. Those games were like 4 in a row. And, you end up losing to Alcorn by 12. You lose to FAMU by 3. You lost to Jackson State by 9. And then Alabama A&M was just one of those things that had that quarterback there, Will Glass. We knew we had to score against those guys to be able to beat guys, man. And we started the game a little fast. They started fast, but then we hit a little lull, and they just kept going. And the game got kind of out of hand after that. And then the last two games we beat Alabama State, and then we beat Prairie View, who played for the championship last year. So, we ended the year on a great note. And the kids, man, they worked hard this summer to get back here. And, we put in a lot of work, this summer during camp. And
Right.
I'm definitely grateful to have this opportunity to be able to put my brand of football, on display, and put what I know, on display.
Yeah, well, I'm a Mississippi Valley fan, just for you. Now, what I got y'all hot now.
Yes, sir.
My used to be my co-host, AJ Radio. I call him AJ Radio. He said, I don't know. I said, well, they got Clark Kent over there, and I'm putting the pressure on you now.
Yes, sir.
But I seen your work.
Sure.
I seen your habits.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really believe that you guys gonna get it going.
Yes,
So
sir.
we're in year 2.
Yes, sir. Year 2.
Where how you feel about you guys open up this Thursday, right?
So we open up Thursday. So we play down at Charleston State on Thursday night. We'll be on ESPN Plus. So people that are watching right now, make sure you tune in on Thursday night to be able to see us play on Thursday night. But I'm excited, man. Our guys have been working extremely hard, man. Being able to be here for a second year, it's been a blessing. We had guys that were here that played for us last season. They were here in the spring. Now they were able to get the summer. So it's going. I think it's going to be great, man. I think we're going to have a pretty great season this year, man. I'm excited about it too, man. Guys have been working hard. We're tired of practicing against each other. We're just ready to go play against somebody else in a different color helmet and in a different color jersey. But definitely excited about what's in store for us this year.
Well, who gonna be the trigger man? Give us some information about the
Man,
trigger man.
I got 4 guys right now, man.
4.
Yeah, I got 4.
Oh, why is it a quarterback controversy?
No, not. It's really not. But they're still competing for the job.
Wow.
I wanted to have a decision made. In camp, to be honest. But they were, you had, 3 guys that were actually performing pretty good. So I would give those guys a day. Everybody had an opportunity to work with the first team receivers, and we really don't have a first or second team, group of receivers, to be honest, because we recruited some dudes, at the receiver spot. So we don't necessarily have a first or second group, because any of those guys that we got right now could be starters at receiver. During summer camp, it was kind of hard to make a decision, because those guys, one day a guy would be on, then the next day he might not be on. Then the other guy, it was just kind of like that during the summer camp. So, but I want to be fair, and again, like I tell the guys all the time, we want to be competitive, but along with being competitive, you have to perform too. And I'm always about competing and performing. You're going to compete every day, but are you performing? And some days the guys perform, some days they didn't. And I just want to make sure I got the right guy as the trigger man this year, because I feel like that was a missing piece last year for us. Just not having a true, definite trigger man, somebody to go in there and pull the trigger for us and win some games for us. Because it's easy to be a game manager, but I want a game winner. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to micromanage the position though.
Yeah. Well, can I put my coach hat on? I wish I had my old coaching hat on.
Yes, sir.
Man, going in the game, you got 4 guys.
Yes, sir.
Compete for the job.
Yes, sir.
You're not worried about the reps they getting?
Exactly.
Are they getting even reps? I know sometimes you get better with reps.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that concern you, going in there with 4 guys, trying to find which one is trying to be the most consistent, probably?
Yes, sir. That's basically the biggest thing when you're dealing with that. When you're trying to make sure guys get the same amount of reps. One guy may get more reps than other guys if he's hot. That's the thing you're concerned about, when you got guys trying to compete for a starting position, because you want the guy that's the guy to get the reps and to work with the receivers, to be up there with the O-line, to hear, so the center can hear his voice, hear his cadence, and just get a feel for who he is, and versus just hearing 4 different guys. We got practice today, tomorrow, Wednesday we leave. I want to try to have my mind made up by today as to who's going to be the guy, going down there to start the game for us on Thursday night and pull out a victory down there at Charleston State.
Yeah, y'all coming my way, so I'm gonna sprinkle some good luck on the highway.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
I'm gonna keep my coaching hat on. Right. So, as a quarterback whisperer, coach whisperer, that's what I call you.
Yes, sir.
When you're making this decision or any decision on the quarterback, what are some of the important things in to you by order? Do you like the kid with the strong arm? Do you like the kid that scramble around? Do you like a kid that's heady?
Mm-hmm.
What is some of your philosophies on when you're looking at a quarterback?
Yeah, so me looking at QBs, I mean, I want to know, is he coachable more than anything? You have to be a coachable person, a coachable kid, a coachable player to play quarterback for me, because there's times where you may hate me because of how intense I get, at practice sometimes, or how I am when I'm critiquing. It's nothing personal, but I want to know, are you coachable? Can you take coaching? Regardless if you do it good or if you do it bad, I'm going to have a form of critique, for you. So I want the guys to be coachable guys, and you definitely have to be smart to play this position. You got to be tough mentally, physically. You have to be smart. You have to be tough because you got the football. Guys going to hit you. Guys going to take some cheap shots on. So you want to be tough physically, and again, you want to be tough mentally because of course, we all know you play the quarterback position. There's ups and downs in the game. You want a guy that's going to You want a guy that's going to be here even keel. So that's the thing. I want a guy that's poised and a guy that knows what to do. That can get us out of trouble and knows the offense just as well as I do. I feel like that's so important at the QB spot for a guy to just really take as much time as I do studying and learning, even outside of being with me, to be quarterback.
Well, okay, Coach, offensive coordinator.
Sir.
What's up? What we got looking forward to our offense? It's what is the mature part, or what is the strong point part of your offense going into this? Right now, we know we got the quarterback thing going on. What is the strongest part?
Our strong part right now is our run game. We had a kid that's coming back, Caleb Johnson, who led SWAC in rushing last year.
Ooh, he could do it.
Yeah, 1,000-yard rusher, only 1,000-yard rusher in the SWAC conference. I think he's the first 1,000-yard rusher at Mississippi Valley in 20 years. He's in 20 years hadn't had a 1,000-yard rush in 20 years, and the kid, man, is very durable. I think against Prairie View, we gave him the ball 40 times. I mean, after the first quarter, I looked up, he had 93 yards in the first quarter. I was like, I wanted to get him over 1,000. So I just kept feeding him the football. I mean, I didn't want him to come out of the game. Because I saw him play in high school. We actually, he played at Mars High School in Memphis and had a chance to scrimmage against him when I went back to Westwood to coach. And I saw him play in the playoff game. When the kid was at quarterback, he was at running back, he was at receiver. In all three of those positions, he touched the football. He was a kick returner, punt returner, so he did everything. So I know how durable the kid is, and he came back this year in great shape. He came back looking, that much faster. He slimmed down a little bit, tougher runner. So that's definitely a strong point of our offense, man. But we went out and recruited some dudes at receiver though. That was the biggest thing for me. I love to throw the football around, man. I mean, I'm trying to throw it as much as I can, man. But we went out and recruited some dudes. We went out and got us some guys at receiver who can make some plays on the perimeter. I think that was one thing that we were lacking last season. We didn't have anybody outside that could win the one-on-one battles. They can get deep. We got guys who can get deep now. We got some guys who can catch the football, they can turn and run now. We don't have a team full of possession guys. We got some guys who can go get it now. So I'm excited about having that aspect now. I think we'll be that much more dangerous with the guys that we got on the perimeter now.
Yeah, I tell you, that's sweet music to my ears because when I seen y'all against Valley, that's all y'all needed. Y'all run game was great, defense was great. Y'all needed just that one wide out to make a big play, and you just didn't get it. You guys would have had them beat. So, what Tarleton State? Of course, I'm pretty sure you don't evaluated the film this week, and you how you want to. What are the things that they show you think that you can attack?
Well, they got a new defense coordinator, Tyrone Nix, who's been coaching for a long time. Yeah, Tyrone Nix is their defense coordinator. He's been at Southern Miss, Ole Miss, South Carolina. He's been Middle Tennessee State. He's been a lot of different places on the Division I level. So you come up against a guy that's very knowledgeable, about defensive football play. Tarleton State moving up from Division II to Division I, and of course, Texas football is always pretty good, regardless of what level it's on. So we know we got our hands full, with those guys. I'm expecting him to bring a lot of pressure. That's basically what I'm expecting from him, to try to get us rattled, to try to get us rattled early. But that's the thing that we're trying to. And I don't know, to be honest, because I think he coached at UTSA in 2020. He didn't coach at all in 2021. So you just basically look at the film, for that personnel right now. And then you have to just go back and, get on YouTube or whatever to look at some stuff that he may have done at UTSA. I even went back and saw some stuff that he did at MTSU because he had a kid that I coached, Kevin Byard, who's with the Tennessee Titans right now, played for him at MTSU during that time. So I went back to look at watch some film from back in 2013, 14, and 15 to see, exactly, what he likes to do defensively. So just trying to prepare.
Yeah, he come from that 50 front, slanting, angling, and bringing heat, and showing you one thing and come out. I followed him as well. That's one of the things that I do. I kind of study guys that's very successful guys. Like I will continue to study you, and I think you're going some places. Man, let's talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to black colleges. And I know, man, you've had these talks, outside of me and you talking personally. 90%, 90+% of athletic directors in college football are white. Most of your coaches are white. I've even got something from Vance Bedford. He sent me about what's going on in the Power 5 schools. There's a lot of nepotism going on as well. As a young coach, I know as an older coach, I have my opinion, but as a young coach, how does that make you feel?
So, when I think I sent you a message about a year ago, maybe a year or two ago, just saying about even in black college, if you look at the quarterback coach position, if you look at the offensive coordinator position, it wasn't many black guys as coordinators or quarterback coaches, even in HBCUs, from the SIAC to the SWAC to the MEAC. Majority of our counterparts, the majority of the guys that were coordinators were white guys in this business. So it's, very, very frustrating. It was very frustrating when you're trying to get opportunities and can't get opportunities, even in the HBCU realm. Because, guys like myself that have been grinding for years, that want opportunity, that have done the grind work, to get opportunities, and you can't get opportunities. I've been asked so many times, what have you thought about coaching another position? I have no problem with coaching any other position, but what I know, front to back, inside and out, is quarterback play. I played quarterback from the time I was 6 years old until I finished playing at 31. And all I've been since I started coaching was either offensive coordinator or quarterbacks coach. Not to say that I don't know O-line play, not to say that I don't know running back play, not to say that I don't know tight end play or receiver play, because I know it all being a coordinator. You have to know it all being a coordinator. But I never wanted to sell myself short, as a coach. And even as a player, I remember coming out of Tennessee State. When I was working out with the NFL, they asked me to go out and play receiver. I had never ran a route in my life other than being a kid, other than running a go route or more post as a kid. Other than that, I had played quarterback. So, I'm doing my drills against the guy, Jimmy Smith, that played DB at Vanderbilt. So how am I supposed to get open against a dude like that when I've never played the receiver position? But being a coordinator, being a quarterback coach, being a black quarterback coach, it isn't easy. I was fortunate. My very first job at Valparaiso, Dale Carlson hired me to be the quarterbacks coach at Valparaiso. And when I walked into the room, the quarterbacks didn't see somebody that looked like them. I had 4 white guys at quarterback. I was a black guy, walking in the room with these guys, and they were looking at me like I didn't know what I would be able to was talking about, from the quarterback position. But once I showed them, I knew what I was talking about as far as quarterback play. Those guys' antennas went up, and actually the quarterback I had, he broke the school record for a touchdown. For yards in the game with 495. Ended up throwing for 1,000 more yards than he threw for the year before. I think he threw for 2,900. His junior year, he threw for 1,900 the year before, 19 touchdowns. But the year I coached him, he threw for 2,900 and 22 touchdowns.
Oh, wow.
So he had a increase in yards and touchdowns the year that I coached him at Valpo. And still talk to the kid to this day. He's always thankful because my very first meeting with him, I told him I felt like you could be a potential professional football player. He ended up going to play arena football after he left Valparaiso. And I just saw something in him to try to just wanted to, show him that he could play on the next level. But it isn't easy, being a black man, coaching in this business. When you want opportunities and just as much as others do, but you just don't get the opportunities that guys get. So I remember being working when I do camps. I work in the University of Georgia camp. I work at Alabama camps. The only difference between myself and them is they got the opportunity that I don't have, that I hadn't gotten. And that's why I always tell myself, I have a constant reminder. It says, keep grinding, Kenton. I always make sure I post it on my social media. I have it written down in my notebooks. I call my little notepads my scheme vault. So I have it. I can I open up my little notepads and I see keep grinding in there. And that's my clue. That's my indicator to no matter what's going on is to keep grinding, because one day that opportunity is going to come and I got to make sure I'm prepared for it.
Yeah. Well, without a doubt, I think it's going to come for you. The other thing that bothers me and things that I look at is that when we do get those head jobs, even on our level, even at the HBCU head coach, we always gravitate to the white guy as either the coordinator or the quarterback coach. Fortunately that you now have a spot, as they say, you on the clock.
Yes, sir.
So, you feel good where you are as far as, getting this opportunity at Mississippi Valley State?
Yes, sir, I do. I feel great, about this opportunity. Like I said, I believe in me. And to do what we did last year was great for this program. And it was great for myself because I had an opportunity to open up some eyes, from a lot of different people around the country to see what we did here in Mississippi Valley. And then I ended up getting the opportunity to do the QB coaches summit with the NFL. And it's invite only. Like, you can't just say you want to do it. They have to, you have to get recommended for that from somebody. And I got recommended, for it to be able to do it. And I felt like that was a great tool to be able to have in my tool belt now, was to say that I actually, I wish I could have did it in person, but I didn't get the opportunity to do it in person. But just to have that, in my toolbox now, to say I got that experience to see what it's like, on that level, and it's no different than coaching where I am right now. And again, it's just all about getting the opportunity. It's just about getting the opportunity. Now they say, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Coach. You got it.
And as they say, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So I've taken it and I've run with it, because I can say I know you all day long, but if you have nothing good to say about me or don't have anything to say about me at all, in all likelihood, I probably won't be able to get a job anywhere. So
yeah. Well, I mean, what is your ultimate goal? Is it to try to get a quarterback or head job in the Power 5 schools or the Division I or HBCU, or you just kind of feeling your way?
Yes, so it's all of the above, to be honest. I'm still feeling my way, because if you think about it, I hadn't been a college coach long, even though I've coached for 18 years. My first job was 2013 at Valparaiso. Again, was let go. I didn't get back to college coaching until 2017. So that was at Brevard for a year. Then 2018 to 2019, I was at NAI school. And then 2020, I got hired at Pine Bluff, and now I'm at Mississippi Valley. So this is actually just my 5th college job since I've been coaching. So I'm still feeling my way through. But my goal, of course, is to be a Division I Power 5 offensive coordinator, to eventually be a head coach, and hopefully have an opportunity to go to the NFL and be a coach in the NFL. That is my ultimate goal, is to go to the NFL and be a coach on the NFL level. And God willing, hopefully I get that opportunity and be able to make the most of it.
Well, when you get that job, don't forget about old coach here. I could be your walk around coach. You know what I mean? They be like, man, who the old guy over there? Hey, don't worry about him. That's the walk around coach.
So, Coach, the thing I always remember, man, from my initial conversation with you getting to Tennessee State, man, was just to be me. I still take those that lesson, man. Even though you didn't have a chance to coach me when I first got there, man. I still, use the plays that we ran out of the hobo, man. I got a mixture of that, a mixture of my high school stuff, a mixture of a lot of stuff, played arena football. I got it all mixed in my toolbox, man. I still use it to this day, man. And it's been great for us. Of course, everybody knows what we did at Tennessee State, man. Everybody knows what you guys did at Tennessee State, all of the numbers that Leon put up, and, Perk. And it was just phenomenal to see and have that firsthand experience with it. and to watch, to have a chance to see it and learn it and to use it, for myself now. So definitely always been appreciative, of that, from even that time till now. I still use it.
Yeah. Well, whenever you're having fun, I enjoy always talking to you.
Sir.
We coming down to the end of the show. What are some of your last remarks? Because I got some Mississippi Valley fans on here saying we can't wait to see what we do this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, it's just, man, like I said, I'm just blessed, man, to be able to have this opportunity, man. Football has been my life forever. A lot of people ask me, man, what would I be doing if I wasn't coaching football? And I honestly don't know, because I put all of my eggs into one basket, man. I mean, this is plan A through Z for me, to be honest. All I ever wanted to do, man, I can remember being a kid. We had career day at school. I would have on my basketball jersey. I would have on my football pants, my football cleats, my baseball hat, my baseball glove, and I had the football with me. But that's all I've ever known to do is just be an athlete, to be around the sports and be involved in sports and be involved in football. And I can remember getting my first pair of cleats. My mom used to take us to Pony Warehouse back in the day. We used to sit at Pony Warehouse before they opened to get cleats to go play football in. So that was always the thing. I always wanted to be a football player, be a footballer. And now I've got the opportunity to coach it and continue this lifelong dream I've had to just be around the game. And it's nothing else that I would want to do other than coach football, man, and to just be around the game more than anything. It's just trying to, impact kids, man, and help those guys go off and live their dreams too. I've had an opportunity, man, to coach some guys that's in the NFL right now. Guys that's still playing professionally. A lot of kids that went off to college, got college degrees as dads. Their fathers. Some of those guys are coaching now, and they still, hit me up on social media, telling me thank you. But back then, when I was getting after them, they hated me, but they understand why I was doing it. So that's always been the biggest blessing for me, man, just to have that opportunity to do those things, man. So.
Well, hey, man, look, I'm going to be following you. I'm going to be pushing, and I'm going to be praying for you. And I look for good and big things from you.
Yes, sir.
So good luck this Thursday. I'm going to see if I can make it down there. I definitely let you know. But good luck, Kid Evans, Mississippi Valley State. I got you setting it on fire this year.
Right.
They play good defense. We need the good offense.
Yes, sir. Definitely, man. Appreciate
love
it.
You.
Yes, sir. Love you too.
Care.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, that was Kid Evans, another young, outstanding coach that's coming up through the league that potentially to be a great head coach. I had our chance to go to Atlanta this weekend to see the MEAC SWAC champs. Let's go. Let's give a hand for the SWAC. We finally got over the hump and beat the MEAC. I want to take my hat off to Eddie Robinson. Had those kids prepared, even though it was a rain delay. But I got to get out of here. Next week, I'm going to have Bubba McDowell coming right at you after the Labor Day Classic. If you feel yourself at the end of the rope, tie a knot and hold on tight, because ain't nobody bad like you. HBCU Stroll, we out.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. Yep, we're getting over that hump. Number 1. The Justice Department's search and seizure of highly sensitive papers in the possession of former President Donald Trump did not begin with the August 8th event. A New York Times investigation found the government has recovered more than 300 documents with classified markings from Mr. Trump since he left office. The first batch of documents were returned in January, another set provided by Mr. Trump's aides to the Justice Department in June, and then there was a material seized by the FBI in the search this month, August 8th. Donald Trump went through 15 boxes himself in 2021 before turning them over. Number 2. Most Americans support teaching a thorough history of the civil rights movement and appreciate the historical significance of that era. But few can name pivotal figures or moments apart from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Mrs. Rosa Parks. A survey released by More in Common found that most Americans remember the period for its nonviolent protests and leaders including Dr. King and Mrs. Parks. Yet most appear to lack robust knowledge of the era, and memories are murky when an event experienced pushback or encountered riots and violence. Number 3. Pfizer asked U.S. regulators Monday to authorize its combination COVID-19 vaccine that adds protection against the newest Omicron relatives, a key step toward opening a fall booster campaign. The Food and Drug Administration ordered vaccine makers to tweak their shots to target BA4 and BA5 that are better than ever at dodging immunity from earlier vaccination or infection. Pfizer and its partner, BioNTech, aim to offer updated boosters to people 12 and older, and shots could begin within weeks if the FDA quickly clears the modified vaccine, a step not expected to require waiting on new studies. Number 4, the Kettle Moraine School District in the state of Wisconsin has barred employees from displaying gay pride flags in classrooms or from putting their preferred pronouns in email signatures. The vote was not unanimous. Board member Jim Romanowski was the only member to vote no on the ban after listening to students and staff. The Kettle Moraine School District Superintendent Stephen Plum told the school board the district's interpretation of the policy changed following a legal analysis. Number 5, Danielle Vines and her 8-month-old infant son, Christian Wilson, were last seen in Prince George's County, Maryland. The 26-year-old mother was wearing a green tank top and gray pants at the time of her disappearance. Christian was wearing a blue onesie. Anyone with information on Danielle and her son's disappearance, please go to the blackandmissinginc.com website. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. A sign of immaturity is always having to be right. So, inhale that maturity. Exhale, immaturity. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with Stephen Hill, comedian Myra J., and activist Quinn Townsend Riley as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SibylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.